you know, you get a lot of praise, deservedly, as an investor and as a board member, but I want to begin by talking to you a little bit about your life as a CEO, because people forget that you are a CEO and an enormously successful one. So I thought I would begin by asking you about what makes a successful CEO, and particularly not just because you were successful, but because one thing I admire about you is that in your acquisitions, you know who is a successful CEO and you acquire the person as well as the business.
Yeah.
So what do you look for?
Well, we have a kind of a special kind of business because it's been built on buying businesses. You know, we started with a textile business that was destined for failure 45 years ago. So Berkshire has been put together in a way that sort of fits me, but I also think it fits a successful business model. And I don't like committees. I don't like, you know, there are all kinds of things I don't like. So I get rid of them and create a model that I think will work, but that doesn't have the things in it that I don't like. And as we bought businesses over the years, and we now have 70-odd businesses, almost always the person who sells to me is the person who's going to be running it subsequently. And I'm handing them a lot of money, and they're handing me a stock certificate. And the next morning, they have to forget that they handed me the stock certificate. Basically, they have to still feel they own the business. So when I look at them, I look into their eyes and try and figure out whether they love the money or they love the business. And if everybody likes money, but if they don't love the business, I can't put that into them. If they're gonna, and so we have no contracts at Berkshire. We just don't have contracts. We count on people loving the business, and then my job is to make sure that I don't do anything that in effect kills that love of the business. We have CEOs that have never come to Omaha, you know, and we've never had a meeting of them here. It just isn't the way we run. They knew how to run the business before I bought it. They're going to know how to run the business afterwards.
Well, that's not something you can tell from the balance sheet. That's something that you can tell from, I guess, the twinkle in their eye. And so that's something that you can only tell really from talking to them. Is that right?
It really is. I mean, it's why we've never bought a single company of these 70-some from an LBO operator. I mean, they don't love the business. I mean, it's a vehicle to buy today and sell, you know, many tomorrows from now. And they may dress up the accounting, and they may do, you know, leverage it up and that sort of thing. But they're thinking about, they have an exit strategy. We don't have an exit strategy. We have an entrance strategy, and that is it. Once, you know, it's like a Catholic marriage. It's going to last forever.
Well, that brings me to, I think, one of the most interesting things about Berkshire, which is that you say, and this is just a stunning statistic, that most of your shareholders say they're going to hold your stock until they die, and then pass it on to their kids. And most of the CEOs I talk to, as I'm sure you know, complain that their investors have got the attention span of a mayfly.
But they go out and select for that. I mean, if I were running a church and I had 500 seats in it, I would not be out trying to get people all the time to replace the people in the present seats. I would be trying to keep the people that are in those seats happy so they're back next Sunday and the Sunday thereafter. So we don't want to attract every investor. We want to attract people who look at Berkshire the same way they look at buying a farm or they buy an apartment house. When you buy a farm, you don't think I'm going to flip this next week, or that the earnings are going to be up this quarter for the farm, or anything of the sort, or you know, it looks like it's going to rain tomorrow, or any of that sort of thing. You buy it because you expect a certain yield from the property, and you hope you have an honest tenant farmer to run it, and you expect that over time farming productivity will get better because of new fertilizers and that sort of thing. And you have no idea of selling it. That's the kind of intent we want with the people that buy Berkshire, that they're buying into a business. It's like a partnership, and we regard it as a partnership. In a sense, it came out of a partnership because both my partner, Charlie Munger, and I, we had partnerships that owned the securities that were then distributed to our partners. And we don't look at those people out there as somebody who is to be pleased for this quarter or next quarter, or care whether we split the stock or increase a dividend or make rosy projections or anything. We want them there because they join with us. I've got 99% of my money in Berkshire Hathaway. Charlie has a very, very high percentage. We don't care about getting salaries or options or anything of the sort. We want to do well when our shareholders do well, and I think they sense that. And our holding period is forever, so why shouldn't their holding period be forever? We want the shareholders to understand us. We like our shareholders. They don't always like us necessarily. We want them informed. We want them to know our products. But most of all, we want them to know our principles. And you know, we're going to make all kinds of mistakes, but we've got a yardstick of performance on the inside cover of the annual report, and that doesn't change. I mean, it's gone. You know, we've had it there for 45 years or so. They're our partners, and we're going to treat them like that.